Hi everyone, it's Lynn Dion here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I'm really excited to show you one of the brand new matchbooks in the Matchbook series from Art Impressions, and this one is called Halloween. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've gone ahead and stamped all of my images on some Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock, and I used the VersaFine Onyx Black ink to do that. So these are all of the images in this set, and it does come with the coordinating dies as well. Now I'm using orange and light brown to start my coloring here. I'm starting with that orange. Now these are the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens, so this is a water-based marker, and I'm using the blender pen from that same series to do my blending. Now I'm going to add a little bit of the dark gray here for the mouth on this little pumpkin. And then I'll go ahead and use that orange color to color in this little chair. Now I have done other matchbooks in this series. So if you want to check those out, just go to my blog and just type in the search bar matchbooks and they'll come right up. So I did speed this up quite a bit, but I did want to show you the coloring just to show you how I kind of created some shadows here, and just to give you an idea of how simple this coloring is. These images are very tiny, and using the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens really allows you to get into some of these very detailed areas. So I'm going back to that same dark gray that we used before, and I'll use that on this little cat, and again just create some little shadows here. So again, this is part of the brand new Matchbook series, and I want to also remind you that in order to create this little matchbook, you do need to have the Matchbook template die, and that's number 5317, and I've got that listed up above as well. Now I've switched to the violet, and I'm just going to color in some of these little books. We'll just add some little shadows here and blend those out. Again, most of this coloring is very quick, very easy. And then I'm going to kind of keep going back to these same colors. I've got the orange here again. I didn't want to add too many colors to this set, so I stuck pretty much with the oranges, yellows, beige, browns, and that violet color. So I kept the palette pretty simple here. So here I've got the beige just to create this little bookshelf. Now, the other thing that I also want to tell you is that in order to create the little envelope for these matchbooks, you do need the matchbook envelope die set. And again, I've got that listed up above as well. That set is number 5318. And I'll be showing you both of those products here in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and color in this little grandfather's clock. And again, I'm going to that beige color. And then I'm going to that darker gray just to add some shadows here. And I'm just adding the shadows sort of towards the sides and kind of pulling that in towards the middle. And here you just want to create kind of a spooky look. So I'm not looking for perfection here. I just kind of want to create like an aged, spooky kind of a look. Now on these little pendulums, I went back to that orange. Again, I just didn't want to introduce too many colors. I thought it was a little bright, so I'm just adding a little bit of the light gray here and blending that out. Then going back to the violet to do the candles, and a little bit of yellow there for the flames on the candles. So I'll continue coloring this in, and then I'll meet you after I finish coloring in these little cabinets here. And here again, I'm going to go back to that violet to do the face on the clock. Just again, adding a little bit more shadowing here on those pendulums. And then on the ghosts, I'm using a lighter gray, and I'll just blend that out. Just add a little shadow here just to make them look a little bit more three-dimensional. Then I'm adding some pink to the cheeks with the light pink color, and I'll add some to the cat as well. And now I'll take that light gray and just add some shadows around this chair. Just thought it needed a little bit more of a shadow here. Then going back to that dark gray to do the hat. And now let's do this little window. This is the last thing we need to do here. So I'm going to do the window frame in the beige color. Again, going back to that dark gray just to add some little shadows in here. Then I'll go back to the yellow for my moon and a little bit of orange, and I'll blend those two together. Just be a little bit careful here because you've already colored in that frame, so you don't want to pull in any of that brown. And then if you get too much ink, you can just scribble that onto your scrap paper there. And then I'll give it a night sky, so I'm just going to add a little bit of that darker gray in there and just blend that out. Now we've got all those colored in, but I wanted to add a little sparkle, so I'm using my Wink of Stella glitter gloss pen, and I'm going to add some glitter here and there. This is just a clear glitter. Now you do want to be careful when you use this because we did color with water-based inks, and this is a water-based glitter pen, so you don't want to pull those colors around too much. So just kind of gently add your color. You've done all your blending, so you don't want to undo all that work that you've done. So I just kind of gently add some glitter here. You can kind of pounce it on a little bit, and you can see that up close that you get a little bit of sparkle there, and here we have everything colored in. And these images are just so cute. Now, the next thing I want to do is create the matchbook itself. So I've grabbed some paper here. This is the paper stash from Tim Holtz Ideology collection, and this is called Abandoned. And it's a double-sided paper, and I thought this would work really well to create the little walls for our project here. So now here is the die for the matchbook template. So this is the template that we need to create the matchbook. And here's the other one for the envelope that I talked about. This is the matchbook envelope die set. So you do need both of these to create these matchbooks and the envelopes. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut the envelope here. And then I'll go ahead and die cut the matchbook. And I'm going to flip that over. I'm just trying to decide which one I want to be the inside and which one I want to be the outside. So that will be the outside there. So now I can go ahead and run these two through my die cutting machine. And I'm using my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. So once I've got those die cut, and I just think this paper is perfect for this project. I love these colors. So now I want to create a little rug for my project. So I'm just going back to that abandoned paper stash here. And I'm just going to find one that works well with this. And I thought that really pretty purpley color would be great. So I'm going to go ahead and just die cut that little rug. So that template set comes with windows, a rug. It comes with a variety of little items that you can use to incorporate into your scene. So there's the little rug that we're going to be using. That'll sit right on the floor there. And now this is the envelope template. So I'm going to switch back to this really quickly so I can show you that there's some score lines. When you die cut this, it does create the little score lines that you need. And it creates a little dimension here, maybe about 1/16 of an inch. And that's to give you enough room to fit your little matchbook in, because when we fold it up, it's going to be a little bit on the thicker side. So this gives it a little bit of room to slide into this envelope. So I'm just following those score lines and pressing them out with my bone folder. Now I like to wait to glue this together. So I'll just show you how it closes up here. It has a little notch there to close it up. But I'm not going to glue that together yet. I like to put my matchbook in there when it's complete and then glue it down. Because then if it gets a little too thick, I can adjust that for the thickness. So now I'll just follow the score lines on my matchbook template here. And again, those are all created when you do your die cutting. And you can see that's going to create the little matchbook. And that'll fold up, and there's a little notch here as well. You tuck that top in there and it just closes it right up. So again, I'll just press that out with my bone folder a little bit. Now we can start to die cut our little elements here for the inside of our matchbook. So I've got the coordinating dies, and again, this set comes with these dies. And I'm going to tape these down with a little bit of purple tape. And when we die cut these, it will leave the little tabs that we need to assemble our matchbook. So I like to put a piece of scrap paper over everything when I run it through my die cutting machine. Since I've done all of that beautiful coloring, I don't want it to get damaged at all. So now there's two tabs here. This one, I'm folding it towards the back, and then on the next score line, I'm folding it again towards the back. So that's going to create this little area here, and that's going to get attached inside our matchbook. This one little tab I'm going to fold back, and the same thing on this one here. And this one is on the bottom, so I'm just going to fold that up. So now that we have those pieces all set, I did decide I wanted to die cut a couple of windows. So again, that matchbook die set has those little windows. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut those out of some black 100-pound cardstock. So I'll die cut two of these little windows, just using my Tim Holtz pick tool just to pick out the centers there of those little dies. And then again, I'll die cut a second one. Now, on the matchbook itself, I want to position that window. So I've got this other piece here. I'm just going to clip away that little excess bit of metal there. I'm just going to cut those off just so it doesn't leave a mark on the paper. And then this will cut the opening for the window, and you'll see that here in a second. So I'm just taping that down where I want it to be. And again, I'll run this through the die cutting machine. And now I'll die cut the other side the exact same way. And I can go ahead and attach these little frames right around these windows. And I'm using the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to do this. And I'll do the same thing for the other side. So now that that's all set, I'm going to let those dry. Now we can go ahead and add our little pieces here. So those two tabs that are on the back, so I folded it back, that tab right on the very back. I'm going to put some glue on there, and then I'm going to spread that out with my finger a little bit. And then I'll fold that flat, and I'm lining it up along the left score line and along the bottom score line. So just double checking to make sure that will still close. And then I can go ahead and press that out with my bone folder and just checking to make sure it sits properly there. And then that back tab on this one, I'll do the same thing. Now I'm going to fold those two tabs flat. So I'm pushing it back on itself, and then I'll lay this perfectly flat and press that down. And then I will reach in there with my bone folder and just press that out. And now you can see that's going to pop up nicely inside our little matchbook. Now I can go ahead and add the little chair. So again, I'm going to put some glue on that little tab there. And you do want to use a nice strong adhesive here. You want to make sure that this is going to get open and closed quite a bit. So you want to make sure it's nice and strong. Now I line that up along the edge of the matchbook. I'll do the same thing here. I'll fold that tab back, line it up against the right side there, and just press that out. Now you can see this little matchbook is coming to life. Now I'm going to add that little moon window in the back there behind that little cabinet. And then for the little pumpkin, and that's the little notch. So I don't want to get in the way of that little notch. I don't want to interfere with this closing properly. So I want to sit that pumpkin on my little rug, just trying to decide if I'd rather have it in front of that little notch or behind. I did decide to put it out front just to add a little bit more dimension here. And now with that little tab on the pumpkin, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that tab, and then I'll place that right on this little rug. Now I've got the two little ghosts, so I'll just tuck those in. And you could certainly die cut some extras of these little ghosts if you want to add a few more here and there. And this one I decided to have it look like it was coming out of the pumpkin there. Just going to add a little dab of glue there and attach that to the top of the pumpkin. So now you can see that if you push everything flat and you close the two sides in, and then you bring up the bottom and then secure it in that little notch, that this little matchbook will fit right into your little envelope template. So I'm going to place this in here. Again, I didn't attach this together, but I'm going to, now that my matchbook is done, I've got it inside here, and I can determine about how much or how loose or tight I want this to be. So I'm just playing around with that a little bit, and then I'll secure that down and I'll let that dry. So let's take a look at our finished little matchbook, and you can see how cute this is. So this pops open, and then you just want to push that forward a little bit, and we've got our cute little Halloween scene. I just think these are so cute. And again, I've done some in the past, so make sure you check those out. And here you can see closer all the little details in these images. And also keep in mind that a lot of these matchbook pieces work with the other ones. So kind of mix and match your sets together and just play around with those and see what you can come up with. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.